Welcome everyone to this Q&A with Florian, who is the EuroStrings Composition Contest winner for this year. Florian, welcome.
Thank you to have me here. I'm so delighted. So thank you. I will try to do my best. I have to warn everyone that my English is not so good, but I will try to do my best.
Well, they say with language, the most important thing is to be able to communicate. So as long as we have that solid, we're going to be fine. And you know, your music, as I was listening to it, has a very nice way of communicating with the listener. So it's very, very beautiful, nice way of writing. And I propose that to kick things off, we first listen to some of your music. So here we go. Florian, I gotta ask, who is your favorite jazz pianist?
Um, I mean, now the answer that comes to my mind is Meldo, obviously, because we just introduced it. So yeah, I listened a lot of Bob Meldow's compositions, and for years. So I really enjoy he the way he composed now for like the Bach, tribute that he did.
Mhm.
So it was very interesting to see someone who come from jazz world and compose a piece that is really well written. So um,
Mhm.
I think he has a score, and it's like I don't want to say anything wrong, but it's not
Mhm.
as improvised as the others
Mhm.
time. So yeah, it's very
Mhm.
interesting, and so I had the idea of a theme, and um, it became to be some tribute to him because it was just in my head
Mhm.
his music, so it came naturally.
Absolutely.
So
Uh, and I think Brad Meldau's career actually, the way he merges classical forms and jazz improvisations, the way he does that really well translates into the way you're trying to, it seems, approach music. So for everyone listening, here with us is Florian Colombet. I hope I pronounced your
Yeah,
last
yeah,
name correctly.
totally.
Florian is a guitarist and a composer, and we're delighted that he's able to join us here today. He's the winner of this year's EuroStrings Composition Contest. So, Florian, when you heard about this contest, what drew you to it first? Why did you want to apply?
Um, because of the yeah, the pieces are I don't know. It's like I think a contest for instruments, like for guitar, normal competition, if I can say. It's
Hmm.
a goal to achieve. It's something to have a motivation. So it's
Hmm.
for that reason that I applied. Because if you are just alone and you have your own goal, it's
Hmm.
difficult because you have many things to do in your life. So difficult to achieve to finish the works,
Hmm.
especially for me. So it was a way to say, so I just have to finish the piece before the deadline,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so it's a good goal for me. And I did competitions with the guitar, and it was the same goal to to work on something and to try to finish it, to do the
Hmm.
best you can, and
Hmm.
just not playing for you or just composing just for you. The it's for the the final goal is to play in front of others or to be listened
Hmm.
by others. So it's
Hmm.
the main reason.
Yeah, you mentioned a very good point. I mean, goals in life are something that we all need, whether they're small or big. It's
Mm.
always something that kind of pushes us, to continue moving forward. And I think that's a very well put definition of the beauty of the competitions. Of course,
Yeah.
when we talk about competitions, we're always like, well, is this really necessary? How does it really help art? But in many ways, it does present goals that are very important,
I think it's the main
be it as
reason.
a player or as a composer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you won this competition, I mean, did you open a champagne, or I mean,
Yeah.
what did winning the competition mean to you? And
Yeah,
what are you hoping to get from it?
I was so delighted. So
Hmm.
I was very happy. I just finished to work, if I can remember well, with my guitar, the guitar trio.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, so with Bogdan Milescu, maybe some of
Hmm.
you can know him, and Thomas Riamon,
Oh yes.
and
Hmm.
they're a good friend of mine, good
Hmm.
friends of mine, and just after the rehearsal,
Hmm.
I learned this, so I could share the
Hmm.
how much I was happy, and so for me it's encouraged me. Is it right?
Encouraged.
Encouraged
Yes,
me
encouraged is a good word. Hmm.
to continue to. It's I mean it had you know, I know the piece. Some people enjoy to listen, and
Hmm.
some really fine people. So yeah, so it's
Hmm.
an honor to have this prize, and yeah, it just encouraged me to continue to
Hmm.
compose.
So I'm sort of getting a sense that maybe you haven't composed that much in your life. It hasn't been on the forefront. So
Yeah.
how many pieces did you write so far? Have you
Um,
written so far?
maybe like four of something like this.
Well, that's a
But
very good start then. Yes.
yeah, maybe, but it's when I was very young, at
Hmm.
the age of 9 and 10, I began to compose because everything I learned in the guitar lessons, I was very I wanted to use it to create something. So I made
Hmm.
a piece for my cat. for example. And then I learned to play with harmonics, artificial harmonics. So it
Hmm.
was a whole new sound that I
Hmm.
really like, and I think we can see in my pieces that I like it
Hmm.
very much. So and then after, maybe it's the when you are a teenager, you have less confidence, less confidence in yourself.
Confidence.
Yeah, so um, uh, so I stopped to compose, but I
Hmm.
played in a jazz band, so with
Hmm.
friends, and I composed a different way. It's not written
Of
or
course.
something. It's you can tell by just by ear, and
Hmm.
you have to define the melody, the
Hmm.
harmony, the chords,
Hmm.
and then you improvise on it. So it's not really the same, but it's a beginning to of creativity. So I didn't stop. It's not like I just began like 2 years ago. It's from nowhere. I was I already composed, but it's really new that I compose like this for guitar,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
yeah, this piece you heard it's the first I wrote. So there is just only one before. It was a challenge with a friend, with Bogdan, the same friend, because we live really close, and we challenge each other to compose something because we
Hmm.
both of us we wanted to compose something. And it
Hmm.
was a challenge. So I did this. It's a little study, not really interesting. And then I did this piece. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, I will try to compose more.
Yeah. I think you're in a good role, and you should definitely consider that. And this is a good challenge to have. Usually, with friends, we have silly challenges,
Yeah,
but this
yeah,
one seems to have proven to be a good one. So,
yeah.
so
Understand.
Florian, I read your bio. You started with jazz and percussion,
Yeah,
and then you study with, teachers like Roberto Ossel and Judy Kael and Dushan, etc., etc. And then you have your trio, and then you play with a jazz saxophonist, Simon Corneille.
Corneille.
Corneille, there you go. Thank you very much. So you're living a very diverse, so to speak, musical existence, and I think that's great. It's musical diversity is something that is more and more popularized, and you're playing guitar. We're all sort of looking at guitar as this quintessential instrument that can fit in many different styles. So my next question is for you is, what is your opinion on musical diversity in our world? We're classical guitarists, so to speak, but what is your opinion on mixing genres like this, and how do you try to achieve an artful way of mixing, in this case, jazz and classical, but I'm sure you play probably some other styles as well. So what is your way of going about it?
It's for me. It's normal. It's maybe how I am. I can focus. Maybe I can't
Hmm.
focus on one thing and just practice for hours, just pieces, very good pieces. But I just can't do it.
Hmm.
My mind goes a bit everywhere. Sometimes it's too much. So I will try to do a good answer because in English it's difficult. But I
Sure.
mean, the diversity is, I mean, obviously it's very nice, and but um, it has to be natural for, I think,
Hmm.
for maybe not, it's not so good to seek it like to have a good career or something like this,
Hmm.
but just it's if you feel nice with it, if you need to have this diversity, you should do it because um, I was a bit frustrated when I played just
Hmm.
classical music. I missed the way the spontaneity of jazz to play
Hmm.
just with other
Hmm.
friends. You are with friends and you can play immediately what you want. And in classical
Mhm.
music, it's not like this. It's not so. It's a shame, I think, because before the musicians were composers, improvisers, uh, many years ago,
Mhm.
and I think
Mhm.
it would be nice to teach improvisation, composition to
Mhm.
all the students, because um, I
Mhm.
have students in the conservatory, so young students, and I try to do the same because they
Mhm.
many of them won't be a professional guitarist or something like this. But
Mhm.
um, I think when I can afford to them, it's to be autonomous and to explore what they want to do with music, and it's the more
Mhm.
on the social way, the social
Mhm.
way to that is interesting. It's what decided me to play
Mhm.
music. It's because of my friends, and I had friends that
Oh
played
yes.
music. Obviously, I really like just music, pure music, but it's also the friends you have. If they don't listen to the music that you're listening, I think it's a bit more difficult. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's really interesting. And in another way,
Mhm.
if there is too much diversity, there is a dark side of the diversity. Maybe, if I can
Sure.
say so, if everyone do the same, it's the the culture is like for everything. If the it's a bit capitalism, I mean, because people from Korea or USA can do the same music. It's not a bad thing, but
Mhm.
it's a bad thing if
Mhm.
it's put aside the I don't know, folklore.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, and you should.
Yeah.
It's difficult not to be lost with all those styles. And
Mhm.
uh,
It's we're walking on a thin line always with guitar. It's this instrument that is so very well fitting in so many things. So
yeah,
it's a difficult a path to walk. And we
mhm,
continuously talk about this. You mentioned one interesting thing that will segue into my next question beautifully, and that's you said friendships.
mhm,
EuroStrings, if I may sort of give a little bit of background, one of the main ideas, which is also why we're so sad that this pandemic is still happening, is we have built our EuroString Artist program
mhm,
with the idea to foster friendships.
mhm,
So many wonderful players traveling together, making chamber music together, hanging out, and becoming lifelong friends. And when you said that, it was a beautiful thing to hear. So uh, I would reckon, I would think that chamber music for you is very important. Then, I mean, you really
yeah,
probably enjoy playing with other people, right?
yeah, yeah. Obviously,
How important is chamber music for you as a guitarist? Given that we classical guitar is a very solo instrument,
yeah.
but what do you think? How important is chamber music for all of us to do?
Yeah, I think it allows us to explore another repertoire. You can
Hmm.
play other pieces from very great composers.
Hmm.
There is so many composers that are very so good, and they did never compose for guitar. So
Hmm.
sometimes I think all of us are a bit. Sad not to play Debussy
Hmm.
or Ravel in an original way. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's um, all the meaning to be a musician is to share. So
Hmm.
I think many musicians are have friends that are musicians,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
myself, my girlfriend is a
Hmm.
musician. I can't live without music. It's
Hmm.
she plays piano, so it's difficult to play with her. I
Hmm.
think I will try to compose something for both of you,
Hmm.
both of us, because it's we are sad not to have so many
Hmm.
pieces. There are pieces from my teacher Dusan
Hmm.
Bogdanovic, and we are trying to work on this. And but
Hmm.
piano guitar is not it's difficult to play, but
It is, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
sadly. But yeah, it's to yeah, it's motivation. So to play with
Hmm.
others, they can give you feedbacks. If you're
Hmm.
alone, you can be in a circle and just not
Hmm.
getting better and better. So when you play with
Hmm.
others, you can just share and
Hmm.
enjoy your life. It's a dumb way to answer, but I think
It's a beautifully put, and I would like to use this opportunity to segue into the performance of the Lumen trio. Did I pronounce that correctly? Lumen?
yeah, yeah,
Lumen? Does that mean light?
yeah, yeah.
Light.
In
Okay. All right.
Latin, we were looking for names. It were
Mm-hmm.
very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but beautiful name. So here's a performance by by the Lumen guitar trio. Right, that was beautifully played. And
Thank you.
speaking of harmonics, before, I'm not sure exactly who told me this, but that person said there is no guitar piece without a proper harmonic.
Yeah, maybe it's true. Yeah.
We do like our harmonics a lot.
Yeah.
Good. So that was the Lumen Trio. Really lovely playing of a very famous piece by Claude Debussy. When are you planning on doing some Gustav Mahler symphonies?
Maybe never, but
Maybe.
I don't know. There are pieces that are so difficult to
Hmm.
play. I think for transcriptions it's difficult to know if it's the your own law for a piece that guides you to do it, or is it you know, really a piece that can be played on guitar. It's difficult for
Hmm.
us to know because when we play arrangements of pieces to people that know the original version, Sometimes they don't like it. So it's difficult to know if the piece is the transcription is interesting or not. So we tried. We did many transcriptions for the trio, and some of them we didn't play it anymore because it's too difficult, or there are many reasons, but it doesn't sound very well. I have to say thank you to
Yeah.
Luca Vimercati that recorded this wonderful video. So thanks to him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sometimes the arrangements show the pieces in a much sort of more elaborated, wonderful version. It's almost like we add something to it. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's really hard. I will mention I tried to once record the Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings
Yeah.
on a solo guitar, and I was very determined that I will make it work. But after listening back to the recording, I said, "This is not,
Because we
I'm not
can't
doing
all
piece
sounds.
any justice. It
Yeah,
was not good. So it did not
it's so
make the
difficult.
cut."
But you have to be very. You can't lie to yourself. At some
Absolutely.
point, you have to be really aware that no, okay, I really wanted to play it, but it's not possible. But
Yeah, yeah.
there are some versions that are really interesting, like obviously Asturias. That
Oh yes.
are this is a very interesting piece for guitar, and when we hear it on piano, it's sounds strange for us because it sounds so well on guitar. But we didn't pretend to be to give to add something to Debussy or Ravel or something like this, but just to it's sometimes interesting to see a piece with another angle. So we try.
Absolutely. And in this case, it worked beautifully. I mean,
Thank you.
really gave a wonderful added color to the piece. So, Florian, sometimes when and I'm sure you've seen this over and over again with students, with classical musicians, because of the education, the way that it is, we go into school, we learn to read, and etc., etc. We sometimes lose perspective on musical spontaneity. So my next question is, what is your opinion? Or actually, let me rephrase this. Because you have a background in jazz, do you think that helped you with classical music be a little bit more free, perhaps? Oftentimes, when I talk with musicians who have really just studied classical music, they they are feel good in their environment, but as soon as you put them out of the environment, it's a big problem. Do you think, from your experience, that it is good to have a background like yours? Study jazz and classical, have this width. Did it help you?
Yeah, it
Ultimately?
helped me. Yeah, I can't say if it's the good way to do it, but it helped me surely. But I mean, I will begin with the positive aspects. I I can't play the way I play now if I didn't study jazz. Um, so the ideas I have maybe come from jazz. Apart some ideas. Obviously, I'm listening to classical music. So a lot of these ideas come from the repertoire of the guitar. So, but I should say that for the ear, it's a very good way to work on your ear because it's the main sense that is used. Obviously, in classical too, but you have the sight before the ear. So maybe it's not the best thing in the musical education to begin with scores. I try to propose to my students to begin without scores for weeks, sometimes to improvise. Um, but I think it's the main aspect that the jazz brought me. It was very, you have just by ear to learn a score, a piece. So, and you can read better, like sight reading. I think my sight reading was improved by jazz, because you have sometimes scores with few informations, like just the theme or just the chords, and then you add something to it. But you have to be very fast, very well coordinated to your fingers. So sometimes you have to octave to put an octave higher or lower the theme, because you are a guitarist player, so we play an octave lower. So just to match the others, you have to play sometimes just the variations on it. So yeah, it helped me obviously with that point, I could say. And for the teachers that have difficulties to embrace various style, I mean it has to be personal. I think sometimes you can't teach something. I couldn't teach, I think, jazz because I'm not an expert of jazz. I don't pretend to be an expert of classical music, but of classical guitar. But I think you have to be very aware of what you do, then to teach. So I hope I answer well to all the
You
questions.
answered, you answered beautifully.
I'm sorry, sometimes I have the impression to say very basic things, because I can't put too many words. I have just basic words that came to my mind, so I'm sorry for that.
Oh no, I think you said it beautifully. And musical diversity, you mentioned sight reading. Musical diversity helped me a lot with the notion of sight reading, having the intuition
Yeah,
to follow the line, and to
yeah,
kind of expect and anticipate, especially with music that is intuitive,
yeah,
or that go on the all of that stuff that has a melody and has a thread and has a harmony that makes sense. Much easier to sight read, as
yeah.
if you have that width. So that was actually very very well said. And I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
mentioned
Yeah,
it.
when you learn to write like composers, it's a good way to improve on that aspect, I think. And improvisation is another way, because you have to, you say it's E minor, and you have to play on E minor. So you have to think what there is, what sharps of. I don't know. I don't have the traduction of the word in English. I'm sorry, but so you have to create harmony. So you know it better than when you just have to read it. And I think it would be a good help if we learn to improvise, like in Bach style or Remondi style, or not with to complete it thing, but I think it could be a good help for guitarists and musicians.
And I'm sure you've learned about that with Dushan a lot as well. I mean, because I know his pedagogy really supports that improvisation in different styles, and then how that actually emerges into a standard Western classical musical form. So yeah, it's definitely something to be discussed. Florian, I know you said you only have 4 or so pieces that you wrote,
Yeah.
but when you think of yourself as a musician, do you think of yourself more as a composer or a player? And this is just, it's just kind of a funny question, but
Yeah. For now, I would say more of a player. So
more player.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I did more things as a player than as a composer. But I mean, obviously, in a few years, I would like to be the same level of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, you know, just not cut the
Mm-hmm.
player's parts from the. I
Yes.
just want to do everything, but
Yeah.
sometimes,
Well.
yeah, that's encouraged me to do
Mm-hmm.
something in my life. So, but sometimes I thought it's difficult because there are so many good players, and I'm delighted that they will play my piece in the next
Mm-hmm.
EuroString competition, and
Mm-hmm.
I really look forward to see it because yeah, it will be very nice to hear a very high level guitarist
Mm-hmm.
player to play my piece. It's an honor, but yeah, sometimes I'm thinking I do too many things, you know, and I can't do
Uh,
anything good. So
Well, I mean,
everything is good.
clearly that has been proven differently since you did
Uh,
get this big win, and you're right to mention this. I forgot to mention it before. Part of the award that you've gotten is to have this piece be a part of the obligatory repertoire for the Eurostrings competition that will take
mm,
place in Petrer. Festival José Tomás later in July this year, and every single Eurostring artist will be learning and playing your piece, and then we'll have it also recorded, etc., etc. So it'll probably be a treat
yeah, it will
to
be.
have this to have this experience
Yeah, obviously. I hope they
hearing
will
it.
like it. I
Mhm.
hope they will like it, and the jury after hearing it
Mhm.
many times will still like it after. I hope.
I'm sure it'll be great. And in fact, I know you're preparing a little treat for us to end this conversation. But just a quick last question: what are some of your plans for the future of your composing? Do you want to write symphonies? Do you want to focus on maybe on one instrument or kind of build up? Have you thought about that?
I think symphonies it's maybe too early.
Mm-hmm.
I will deal with the guitar for now.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to compose. I have two beginnings of pieces
Mm-hmm.
for guitar. So, but I would like to compose for other instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Just I need a little more confidence
Mm-hmm.
to work on this and maybe find. I think it's better when you find someone that could play your music. That is,
Mm-hmm.
who is interested in playing your music. Because if you just compose and the piece is never played, you can't know if the piece is interesting or not. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
really know if the it's sounds well. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe find. I will surely compose for piano, and after I will see, and I would like I would really appreciate, sorry, to compose for movies. So for I just
Film
composed
scores.
for, yeah, for short film,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short film of a student from Geneva, and I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed this. So I would like
Mm-hmm.
to have something like this in the future too.
Well, certainly that's it's a big territory, the film scoring. So
Yeah.
it'll be exciting to see you find your way there. So we're kind of coming to the end of our talk, and perhaps as a final goodbye, or before you do that, I do want to thank you, for taking the
Thank you.
time and speaking with us. I'm sure many will be delighted to hear from you. Some of your thought processes, etc. But I think we would all be even more delighted to hear a little snippet, maybe of the piece that won this year's EuroString Composition Contest.
I would
So
just like to add something. So
absolutely.
yeah, obviously, thank you to you and all the organizers. So it's a really good opportunity, and very nice way to to have a goal. So thank you. And if I don't know if I can say it just for now, but I tried to contact a publishing house, and
Hmm.
so I can say that Antoine Fougeret, I don't know if
Hmm.
he does a lot of very good scores. So
Hmm.
I'm delighted to say that he would like to edit to publish my piece. So
Hmm.
it will be very nice to. I'm very happy of the
Hmm.
collaboration with him. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that. And so, you know, uh, when you play for us now, maybe consider that you shouldn't play too good because then you will scare everyone
No,
in
no,
playing.
there is no
for,
worries.
for,
They will play way better than me. Yeah. You know,
that's
it's difficult. Yeah,
of
it's
course it's
difficult
a
to
joke,
play.
but
Yeah, yeah, I know. But it's
no.
difficult to play my own piece. It's a bit stressful, and you know, I worked on it many hours, but without playing it. So then you
Hmm.
have to play it, but you already know it, and you
Hmm.
have to give the same spontaneity to than if you
Hmm.
just discovered the piece. So I will try to do my best. So maybe
Okay.
it will. Yeah. No
All right.
worries for the competitors.
Cool. Okay. So here we have Florian performing his winning piece for us. Thank you all for listening, and with this musical insert, we will then wish everyone goodbye.
Bye.
I wish I had a
did
giant. I wish I had a giant applause ready for you. You know, that was very well played.
Thank you, thank you. I did some mistakes as you asked, you know.
Purposefully, yes.
So,
Thank you so much.
Obviously.
So, so everyone, this was a piece called "Under the Willow," and we will be hearing it more and more during this calendar year as our EuroString artists learn it and play it around. So, Florian, thank you so much for joining us. This was a big treat. Please say hi to all friends over there. You know, Bogdan I've met before, and of course Dusan I have great respect for. So please convey my greetings, and it is our hope that at some point in the near future we can all meet together in person and just have a good time. You know, pandemic has been a long one, and we're certainly looking forward for it to end. So thank you, listeners, for joining us. Tonight we have Florian here from France. I'm here in Los Angeles. So, you know, kind of far apart, but yet together. Good. Thanks so much, and we'll see you around soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.